So I'm really feeling like a weird sense of emotions this week. I think this week I've really been thinking about how, as like a business owners, founders, like in the early days, you really do have to like extend yourself a lot. Like you obviously have to eat and get groceries and pay your bills, so you're having a job on top of like creating your business. And I'm really trying to take moments to like learn from all of my experiences that I'm having now and appreciate them while I have them. But this week I'm really focusing on strategy. So what that means for me is I'm really focusing on who my customer is, where she's at, how do I get to her, and what, channels are most meaningful to her, and like what she wants to see in the brand, what's important, and really prioritizing that. So in thinking about that, I read a lot of studies. I'm always up to date on what's going on in the world with Happy Black History Month. Yes, Happy Black History Month. I should have opened with that, but Happy Black History Month, proud to be Black. Shout out to all my Black founders, business owners, people in general. Just shout out to y'all. Like, we deserve more than a month, but, really live it up this month. Anyways, back to what I was talking about, strategy. So I'm really trying to figure out what all that means, and I have to diversify my channels. Like right now, we just live on the Shopify store app. Well, you can join the community on NoLimitActive.com, and then you can essentially build your perfect leggings. So that's like down to how you wear them, what size you wear, what price points you want them at, how you want them to feel, any suggestions you have. That's all going to be available to you like on the Shopify site. And I really want to hear your input. Like, what's your feedback? Like, what do you want in legging? Like, I think it's really special that No Limit's in this like product development phase where we have so much flexibility to create like anything we want essentially. And I want to be really transparent about, like pricing, things that maybe aren't feasible right now, but we want to do in the future. And I really want to be honest about that process because this is my first time going through this. I don't know anyone else who's gone through like product development, manufacturing, like in my own life. So this is like, I'm coming in green. Like, I don't know what's going on either. So I'm learning with you all, which I think is kind of fun. And we're able to like build the dream legging that we want right now. So I think we're in a really special place that I don't think a lot of brands are anymore for, their community members to engage in like that. So I'm really excited to do this process with you all. And yeah, so I'll take you in like a little bit of behind the scenes of like what I look at too. It's like all public information. So I'm not gatekeepy either. Like all this is public information. Nothing I'm doing is out of the ordinary, I would say. I don't know really what other founders are doing, but I would say like, since this is all public information, I'm not doing anything that's like crazy different because one, like when you're starting out, you just don't have access to all those like databases, customer insights that like these big corporations do. So you get what you can get on the public internet, which we love. We're so thankful for our internet. But yeah. So I'm going to take you through that this week. Strategy, what that looks like. I think I might do some mapping. I like to write things down personally because I'm so in my head all the time, and I'm an extrovert, so I have to get it out somehow, whether I'm talking or I write it down. So I'll take you a little bit through my thought process behind that, and yeah, have a good week. So a part of that strategy is customer acquisition. And customer acquisition for me was a real big struggle at the start, like when I first was hitting the gas on, getting No Limit to launch. Customer acquisition was a challenge for me because I was like, how do people even get their first customers? Like, is it always just your family and friends? Like, how do you get kind of like that stranger customer to find your brand and then be a customer? What I learned about the customer acquisition process from my first launch that didn't do well, which was actually this sweatshirt, was that and it more relates to your actual business and the products you're creating. I realized after this launch, I could not just create a cool product. It couldn't just be a cool piece of clothing that I thought was cool, that maybe my friends thought was cool. It had to be more than that. You really have to create a product and a business where you're solving a problem. On this second, in this launch that I'm doing now for No Limit, I really focused on what people were telling me when I told them about my activewear brand. At first, when I was launching the sweatshirts, I wasn't fully listening. People were telling me exactly what their problems were, and I was getting that face-to-face interaction with people, but I wasn't listening to what they were telling me, which is why I think this first launch ended up failing, because I wasn't listening to the customers who were organically coming my way, and I wasn't listening to the problems that they had. When I came back to do this second launch, I realized the problem and the solution was right in front of me. I just needed to listen to it. So that's how we got to creating an activewear legging. The first thing anyone ever told me or asked me about when I told them I was doing an activewear brand was, are you going to create something for me? This came from a lot of my curvy coworkers, curvy friends and associates, right? They were always talking about how their leggings were rolling down, how the fit was inconsistent and all that. And therein lied my problem. So what I did this launch was I gave myself enough time, and I'm creating a product that is based on community members' problems. So that's the one thing I had to understand at the start of creating this brand and doing a launch or second launch for this brand, was really understanding what the problem was. And then second is kind of understanding who that customer is. That's something I really struggled with, because I was like, well, you kind of have an idea of who you think the customer will be, but you don't really know until you know, right? So I started this whole series on TikTok, and TikTok gave me my first form of analytics. TikTok actually gives you a whole analytics of your viewers, like who's watching your videos, whether that's men, women, 18 to 24, all the age ranges, like all those different demographics. The TikTok gives you those analytics, which has been super helpful, because then I could start gearing my brain towards, okay, this is who's catching my videos, this is who's interacting with my videos, so this is the kind of demographic that might be a customer to No Limit or be a customer, right? So then I started digging a little bit deeper and started to see who were the ones that were following me, who was engaging with the content, and looking at those people. What's the demographic again? What's the age range? What kind of things do they like to do? Then you kind of start to understand who your customer is and how you can still solve that problem for the customer that is organically coming to you. I think before I was really focused on going to get customers, or like trying to pull from these different demographics that maybe didn't make sense for the business. And instead, now I'm focusing on who is organically coming into the business, who's resonating with this message, with this problem, with this mission, and then kind of communicating with those community members to then enhance the product to serve their needs the best way I possibly can, right? And so I've also done that through another way, which is through the survey that is on nolimitactive.com. So far, just some quick data analytics of what people are saying. I really am starting to understand what my customer values in their perfect legging, right? So from what I'm seeing so far, they value comfort and softness, fit and support, and squat-proof fabric. Those are the top 3 selections that people made while taking the survey of like what they value most in a pair of leggings. So what that tells me while I'm creating and communicating with my manufacturer, with my product development team, is that comfort and softness needs to be emphasized, fit and support needs to be emphasized, and squat-proof fabric needs to be emphasized. These are things that are of value to my community members, and to solve the problem in the best way I can, I need to have those attributes within my product. Another question that has really been insightful to me is what matters most when choosing an activewear brand. I ask my community members this because I really want to know, like, what motivates you to, buy from different brands. Like, is it their aesthetics? Is it the product? Is it like who's wearing it, who's buying it, that kind of thing? Like, I really wanted to understand like what motivates you to buy a certain product. And so what my survey is telling me, what my community members are telling me, is that they value inclusivity and representation, quality and durability, and price. So then I know these are things of value to them and things that need to be sewn into the brand. And there's so many other ways you can look at getting customers and understanding customers, but I think really the main thing is look at who's organically coming to you. Don't try to go to other demographics and pull people who you might think will like your product. Go for people who are organically coming to you. Study them, see who they are, understand who they are, and then ask them what they want. I feel like it's so simple, but I think we make it so complex when it's just, you're talking to people. What do people want? What do your community members want? Who are you creating the product for? And once I had this mindset shift around customers and what that looked like to build a community, is when I really started to understand that I overcomplicated the whole situation. And it's really about listening to the people who are organically coming to you.